arrogant, throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting a fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defined, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. At every bar, even though my bar has been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest. But I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops my soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Tuesday. Little sports nonsense and whiskey, hanging with the fellas. Pinky, Robert, how we doing this evening, gentlemen?
What's cracking, boys?
We're excellent. We're here to party. We're here to talk so many sports and amazing nerdness. It's great.
I don't know about you guys, but whiskey is good. I love whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the Excelsior Blackberry that from Washington. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's their new flavor, and I'm really for it.
To quote a brilliant man, just once it hits my lips, it's just so good.
So good. So good. Boys, we got a lot to cover. We got a lot of ground. We got to get right into it. Let's do it. All right. Caleb, I got to get some of your opinions.
Ooh, I don't
Robert,
know if I like this already.
I need your help.
Okay.
I need you to
I don't
Google.
like this even more. Okay.
I should have had you do it before the show, but
I'm the man in the chair. I got it. That's my role in life. I'm the man in the chair. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm the man in the chair.
That's it.
What
I
are
need
we
you to
doing here?
Google coaching changes for 2026. And I wanted to ask Caleb a couple opinions because a lot of things happened over this last weekend with the coaching changes. I want to get his opinions. I've got my own opinions on did teams do their due diligence? Did they get it right? But Caleb, I think we need to have a discussion about the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That sounds like a solid place to start, Pinky.
Like, is the Rooney Rule not like the worst thing out there? Because it's such a sham at this point.
So it always was. I mean, at its basic level, the way I've always felt about anything of that nature, when you impose something on someone that's forced, you are never going to get the results you want. Ever. So if you tell somebody they have to do something just to appease a scenario, that's all they're going to do, is they're going to do that thing to satisfy the equation. They're not going to do it in good faith. They're not going to do it as a true process. It's going to be
Pinky.
just simply what it is. So, I've never been a fan. Taking it into the political side a little bit, and this is kind of where everybody was going with it to begin with, is the whole DEI scenario. If you're only doing something to meet a quota or, again, to just satisfy a requirement, you're never going to do something to truly find out if it's the best possible solution. So a lot of this has to do with the good old boy system that is so ingrained into the NFL that change appears non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe there has been a lot of change. It doesn't look like it at times, but to me, this feels like a one step back to take 2 steps forward kind of shuffle. Now, it might be 5, 6, 7 steps back to then eventually take 10, 11, 12 steps forward. But that's where it feels like it's at right now. What are you thinking?
Man, I just hate this altogether. Like, even the Broncos, right? Broncos fired their offensive coordinator. Sean Payton was in a mood, according to Joe Lombardi. But they fired him so they could promote Davis Webb. They were going to do that. They did promote Davis Webb this week to offensive coordinator. But before they could do that, they had to interview a couple minority candidates to fulfill the Rooney Rule exemption, right? Why waste everyone's time? You already they were already going to hire Davis Webb. Like that, they were already going to hire him. The candidates they interviewed in the meantime, it wasted those candidates' time for jobs they could have actually been really up for, right? I just don't like it. I have always thought like it doesn't matter what color you are. If you can coach, you can coach. Like that's it. If you could be a GM, you can be a GM. Like it race and color and all that shouldn't really play a factor. If you're good at your job, you're good at your job.
Again, it's if you draw attention to it, it's a problem. But if you just objectively look at who's the better candidate, because on paper, you don't know. Now, of course, in this, when your face is on the media 24/7, 365 practically, that's a little more difficult, but it objectively speaking, it just, if you can do the job, you do the job. You got the credentials, you have the credentials, period. If you don't have the credentials and it's just a, hey, we hire you, it doesn't look good. And then you suffer for it. And that's not a good look for anybody. Plain and simple.
I will say this, and this is something I've thought about a lot, and it's something that I've been fortunate enough to never have an issue with. Whether it's just a natural ability to BS or an ability to kind of stomach the fear and move forward with it still there, I can't really tell you. It's something I've just always been naturally able to do, and that's public speaking. And being able to sit there and get your thoughts and point across in a way that keeps people engaged. And the thing that I keep wondering is, what is the difference in the interviews that cause some to go above others? And is it just that ability to public speak? Is it just that ability to know how to get your point across and show them who you truly are in that interview? And so if that's where the gap is, it's not about putting people in position to have an interview. It's not about putting people in position to have the jobs. It's getting them in front of situations where they're able to get out of their comfort zone and learn, if they don't already have it, that ability to speak in front of people without losing the thought process and getting nervous to the point where you walk out of there and go, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have said that. I didn't answer that the right way. Because when you walk out of a room doing that, everybody else in the room felt it. So if you feel it walking out, that's the last impression you left. So it makes me wonder if some of these head coaches, I shouldn't say head coaches, some of these candidates for any of these hiring positions, whether it's a coordinator, coach, whatever it may be, GM, it makes me wonder if maybe that's where the split comes in, is just that ability. And it's not, I feel like it's a rare ability. Just based on my time in school and stuff, the amount of people who could not get over that and go up to do their presentation or whatever, and it just comes crashing down on them. So maybe that's where you start. Maybe that's where the grassroots efforts actually have to be, so that when they're actually going in and they're doing these interviews, or they get the jobs and they're looking to move up, they're able to communicate those thoughts and ideas in a way that doesn't come off in a way that it's not received. And the examples I'll give you, and I'm not trying to single these people out. It's just, these are people that a lot of people felt were going to be quality candidates moving forward, and they haven't looked like that. And that's Eric Bieniemy, who's basically no longer even an option for anybody for a hire, and he's going back to Andy Reid again. And there's been plenty of talk and rumor mill, if you will, swirling around that he's just callous. Like, he can't be kind. Like it's not like, that's like the most simplistic way of saying it. He's not a player's coach. He's not somebody that people want to be around. Like that's kind of the stuff floating around about Eric Bieniemy. Not that he's not football smart, but if you come across as somebody who's always yelling, always negative, that's not somebody you want leading your franchise, right? Brian Flores is kind of the same way. That's kind of the stuff coming out about him now, that he's not necessarily able to connect with people. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. And so if you have that hanging over you, it's going to be hard to get people to listen to your message and how you're going to improve a situation through the X's and O's. So when you're talking about minority candidate hires and you see those two at the top of the list and why they didn't make it, that seems to be a lot of the feedback coming back. Whereas you didn't hear that stuff about Mike Tomlin, right? Mike Tomlin's a player's dude. Everybody wants to play for him. Everybody talks great about him because he's able to connect.
And I'm sorry, how long has he been a head coach? Just refresh my memory.
Yeah,
same...
well, 17 years? 18 years was Tomlin?
18 or 19, yeah.
So,
he was up there.
And he wasn't a DEI hire, by the way, everyone. It wasn't the case.
So, yeah, that's what I keep coming back to. Is that the issue? Not the inability to do something, but the inability to be able to connect and get your message across in such a way that people want to be around you. And Bieniemy and Flores seem to be the two best examples of guys who, whether those rumors are true or not, that's what's floating around right now. And that's an easy way to go, I'm going to look at this guy instead because this guy's easy to work with. This guy's always going to be hard to work with. DeMeco Ryan, that dude's killing it down in Houston. We were talking about how we would like to see him come to Denver before he got hired elsewhere. And then they went with Sean Payton. We were all for that possibility. Because the word is he could connect. And he was going to work with people and bring guys together, find an offense, and work with the offensive coordinator. Like, those are the things you need to be hearing about your candidates, regardless of race. I could care less about race. Like you guys said, I want people who are the best candidate for that job. And sometimes I think maybe those candidates don't always get to be heard because of the way the message is delivered. And that's a shitty thing to have to deal with, but it is something that you have to recognize and be able to work around if you're one of the candidates.
So, Robert, switching gears a little bit, you've got the list of head coaching hires so far?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Go ahead and one by one, read that list for me.
Starting off with the New York Giants, we got John Harbaugh. Atlanta Falcons, we have Kevin Stefanski. The Tennessee Titans, we have Robert Saleh. Or Saleh, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals, Mike LaFleur. Buffalo Bills, Joe Brady. The Las Vegas Raiders, sounds like they're going with Clint Kubiak. Unfortunate for the Hawks. Buffalo Bills are higher. I'm sorry, that already. Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike McCarthy. The Cleveland Browns are going with Todd Monken. The Ravens are going with Jesse Minter. And the Miami Dolphins are hiring Jeff Hafley.
And did you say you said Mike McCarthy, right?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Caleb, what do you think about that hire?
I mean, we had him on the hot seat a couple of years ago.
Two things can be true at once, right? It can be a good hire, and it could be a bad hire. So that's completely ridiculous to say, and I get that. But this is what I mean by that. Good hire in the fact that McCarthy is a good coach. I don't know if I'd say he's a great coach, but he is a good coach. And whether his offense is a little outdated or not, maybe time management isn't always the best, maybe situational football is questionable, and those things do come up from time to time, he still wins games. This isn't a guy who takes his teams and goes under 500 or even really 500. I mean, except for injuries in Dallas, they were pretty solid still. So in the sense of the offensive production and being able to help bring along a young QB, I think it is a good hire for Pittsburgh. They need a leader who's proven and understands Pittsburgh to help kind of move them into that next era. And McCarthy is all Pittsburgh. He understands what the Steelers are. He gets that town. In that sense, I think it's a good hire for them. However, I also believe the NFL, similar to what I've said about Sean Payton for a long time, I think it's kind of passed them by. I think they have an inability to truly catch up to where the game is now. Whether they're too stuck in their ways, they don't agree with some of the new stuff, I don't know what it is. But I think they're a little bit behind, a step behind in what they see as quality play calling. The other problem I see with this is the Rooney son, or is it son or grandson? It's not the same last name anymore, right? It's not a Rooney. I can't remember.
No idea.
Either way, the new ownership who's running it now just went against everything the Pittsburgh Steelers have believed in when it comes to changing coaches. They want to hire young and up and coming who people believe are really intelligent moving forward in what the new modern NFL era is. Part of the reason Mike Tomlin was hired. And they went against all of that to bring in Mike McCarthy. And for that, I think they made a huge mistake because they're now putting themselves in a situation where you only have a short-term solution rather than the ability to let somebody grow and have a long-term success solution. So I'm very torn on the McCarthy hire. I can see why it's good, but if you're going to ask me if I would have done it, I'd tell you no. And I would have found one of those young up-and-comings to reset the roster, and I would have taken this moment to say, all right, this isn't something we've done before, but if I'm going to do something I haven't done before, I would rather do a hard reset and rebuild the roster than hire a coach who I think can just Band-Aid the situation.
I think that's very well put, Caleb. Because how many years are you going to get with Mike McCarthy, right? It depends on his quote-unquote success rate, and not only that, but connecting with the players in Pittsburgh. And there is a pretty, I don't want to say a huge disparity, but there was some tension when he left Dallas. So I don't really think that in the Steelers' 3-year, 5-year, whatever plan they're looking at, I really don't see this working out for them in the long run. Personally, I think that the Pittsburgh fans and the team are in for, I think, a pretty rude awakening come next season if they don't actually have a winning season.
Pittsburgh fans are not excited about this hire at all.
Next year's going to tell you how good Mike Tomlin really was, I think. Because if they don't hard reset the roster and they just basically run it back with what they have right now, depending on what McCarthy does with that roster and what their record ends up being next year, people are going to look at Tomlin, good or bad. And that, I think that could be a very interesting scenario come the end of the season.
We had Joe Brady get promoted to head coach, replacing Sean McDermott. What are your thoughts on that,
Robert?
Again, when from the last now 2.5 seasons, we'll say, from when I first joined you all, it's something that I have taken more and more note of every year is you look at some organizations and they're holding on to something that's past them. I think for the Bills, they're 1.5 years too late. Because you have some of the success in the AFC, right? You've got the Rams, Sean McVay, Or no, I'm sorry. What did I get wrong? NFC?
It's NFC, yeah.
Sorry, NFC. Excuse me. So you have Sean McVay, who was a very controversial hire when he started, and the success he's had has been tremendous. Same exact situation in Seattle the last 2 years. Totally different team. These young coaches, as Caleb mentioned, are, I don't want to say unfortunately, and I can't think of a better word right at this moment, but it's time for a new generation of football. And yes, that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. People hold on to the great times. And I think it was actually pretty awesome to see Tom Brady's prediction and the team he's picking. He says, I don't have a dog in the fight. And yet he's a Patriot veteran, and I mean, he's the GOAT of a quarterback. So for him to not even support his home team, we'll say, it's anybody's game now.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest,
I know. I know.
He is a Raider now, whether he wants to like
Yes.
that or not. He said the
Correct.
right thing because he doesn't have a dog in the fight anymore,
Sure.
regardless of what people want to believe or hear him say, right?
Sure. But I mean, again, it's one of those things where anything's possible. No one, I think, at the beginning of this season would have predicted these two teams in the Super Bowl at all. And that goes to show some of the new dynamics of coaching, players, schedule even. I mean, that was a great post you had earlier this week, Caleb, comparing their opponents. And it was honestly like, do you need to read more between the lines? Probably not.
Yeah, everybody wanted to, though. They didn't like.
I mean, everybody has their because
bring up everything outside of just
exactly. Objectively
put your blinders on.
speaking,
Just look at this.
Exactly. Turn the blinders off. Look at the objective. Here we are. So I think this is a great hire for the Bills. I really think that going forward, you're going to see a much better success rate for the offense for the Bills, and you're going to see a new play style. And I think that's what is going to be so interesting with Mike McCarthy going to the Steelers, kind of going back to that real quick, is that it's an older generation of football. You're still sticking with an older era versus going into the future. And yes, the future is scary and but how long are you going to live in the past before you really need to get into the future?
It's well put. It's well put.
So,
Pinky,
I think the Bills have a good job
here. I like that. Moving forward, Pinky, what are your thoughts on Harbaugh?
Oh man, I don't know. I think he's going to help reset their culture. And I think they need that from what they've dealt with over the last couple of years. They had that really awful coach from Green Bay, Ben McAdoo. You know, they've had DeBall. I feel like I think they should have canned their GM too, and really
You
just
think
had a
so?
full reset. I think Harbaugh's going to help at least reset the culture, get them going in the right direction. I don't know if he's going to be able to put them over the top, but I think he'll at least get the culture going. Like, because I feel like at the end of the day, we can all, as Broncos fans, agree or disagree on Sean Payton. But after the debacle that had been everything after Gary Kubiak, he helped at least rebuild our like actual culture and franchise. Whether he wins a Super Bowl or not, we'll see. But at least we're back to like expecting, hey, we're going to be a good football team. Where with the previous coaches that John Elway hired were pretty awful. So
which is also, going to what we're talking about with generations and things, is Mike Tomlin had a good football team. They were winning, but they haven't been to the Super Bowl in how long?
Now,
If you're resetting a culture, again, John Harbaugh totally forgot that, hey, we can run the football the last 2 seasons of playoffs. Not this season, obviously, but beforehand. It's just one of those things. It's, again, how long are you going to live on borrowed time before you really need to make a generational change?
yeah, I think there's 2 major things I see with the Giants right now. And correct me if I'm mistaken, they just hired an offensive coordinator, did they not? They just announced.
1 second.
Pull it up. While
Yes.
you're looking that
I already have it. I've already got it.
Okay,
I'm on it.
well then give me a moment. We'll get there. The first thing is why are you keeping a GM if the coach reports directly to the owner? Because really then he's just an answering machine so that he can
Leave a
go
message.
tell the coach that other GMs are calling for something. It's a pointless scenario. So keeping Sheen on as the general manager was a giant mistake by the Giants. That ownership has no clue what they're doing. The mistakes that they've made over the last decade. I mean, the owner flat out came out and said, we did everything we could to ruin Daniel Jones. And yet you're doing all the same things now. Who's the hire for the offensive coordinator for the Giants, Robert?
Matt Nagy. Or Nagy.
Yeah. You go and hire Matt Nagy as your offensive coordinator after Harbaugh just had this big old speech about how he basically didn't like the way Monken was doing things because he was doing square peg round hole. And now you're going to bring in Matt Nagy, who has a proven track record of failure. Everybody knows Andy Reid was the one making decisions there. When Matt Nagy left, it looked atrocious. He came back. They didn't have the same personnel. That offense didn't look good. So the combination of the two, whether it was Reid still calling or Nagy calling then or them working together, it's not good. So why you would say those things as Harbaugh about Monken and then go and hire Nagy to be your offensive coordinator makes zero sense. So I was high on the Harbaugh hire originally because I did think he could reset the culture, and I did think he was a great delegator of responsibilities to his coordinators. He was a special teams guy. He wasn't an offensive or defensive coordinator. It's well documented that he's more than willing to make adjustments, try new systems. That was one of his biggest strengths. But then instead of bringing somebody in who could truly help develop that quarterback and give him options to run a very different offense if needed, he didn't do. So I went from a B+ down to a C+ with just that simple hire by Harbaugh, because it tells me he actually doesn't get it anymore. He's retreading. He's not trying to progress. He's not trying to move forward. He's stuck looking at something that's safe. And I don't even know how safe Nagy is.
We'll find out.
All right. Well, we have talked way too long about coaches.
Oof.
We want to
Real quick. He's got the list up. Pinky, what was your favorite hire or most surprising hire from the entire 10 teams?
Ooh. Robert Saleh. I was surprised the Titans did that. That's my pick.
Okay. I like that. Pinky?
I find it tough that Atlanta went with Kevin Stefanski. I feel like Stefanski should have spent a year or two as an OC kind of reproving his value. Because I feel like you almost did the same hire. So you took Raheem Morris because he was a decent DC, thinking he was going to be able to be like a great motivator and lead the team, and he failed. I feel like Kevin Stefanski is almost the same guy, but on the offensive side. So
I could see that.
Yeah, that one kind of just rubs me the wrong way.
I got two, and I can't separate them. They are equally bad to me. And the first one is Stefanski. I think he proved very clearly after this last year the dude is not a good leader of men. It felt like he did everything he could to sabotage that team last year. And whether that's to do a gotcha to the ownership or the GM or whatever it may be, he proved to me, like I was just talking about with Flores and Bieniemy, that's a dude who doesn't connect with people. And I would not want that person as my leader of the team. The other one that's equally as bad or surprising to me is the Browns. What are we doing? Why would you hire Todd Monken?
The Browns be browning.
There is no reason for that hire. He didn't even prove himself as a good offensive coordinator.
Hold on.
Ooh, Pinky's got a pint.
They had a very limited pool of people to pull from because who wants that job?
You're not wrong. But again, that shows you how terrible they're run from the top down. And they should have recognized that and made changes. But the owner is too stubborn or too blind to realize they're a major issue. They're too stubborn or too blind to realize their GM doesn't know what they're doing. And that's kind of crazy to say because they had a great draft last year.
Very good draft. And they've got 2 picks in the first round this year because of it.
Yeah. So I'm baffled by the fact that that's the route they went. And then to hear Monken sit there and be like, I finally got you, Shador. I was trying to draft you to Baltimore last year. Well, it all worked out. We're here now. And then when asked who's going to be a starting quarterback, he goes, I don't know.
Deshaun Watson.
Like, no, dude. You should have an answer already. You should already come out and say, this is the dude I'm looking to run with, and that's what we're going to see happen. And if it doesn't work out, we'll change. But he didn't do that, which tells me, thank you, Pinky, for bringing it up, that ownership says we're paying Deshaun Watson and he's going to start next year. Regardless of what you think of anybody else on the roster, we're paying that dude and you're going to put him in. I'm scared as a Browns fan.
It's Deshaun Watson till week 7, and then he'll be hurt again. Then it's Shador, and then who knows? But moving on, because we've got to move on. We've spent way too long on that, but that's fun. Boys, it is Super Bowl week. We made it. We are here. The week between the Super Bowl just seems like it's unneeded, in my opinion. I really don't like it.
I love it.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
I like them getting that extra week of rest. I think it makes for a better game for the teams.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly.
Caleb, that's just probably me not be like, it's Sunday. There's no football on today. What am I going to do?
That's fair. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Well, hey, hold on. I mean, he does have a point because I texted that in the group chat. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my day. I sat here going,
I plan ahead. Like this is something I know is coming for a very long time. And I kind of set things in so that I'm good to go on that weekend already.
Like, man, I was so like, because Game of Thrones didn't start until 7. The was it the Avs game at 7:30? Like, there wasn't much else happening beforehand.
It was a light Sunday, so
I was like,
I was not a fan of that, so that's why I was talking about this. So.
For the first part of the day, I was playing Warhammer, so like that occupied it. But from like 2:30 to 7, I was like, I didn't plan for this, and I have way too many options to watch of a show, and I just know, I don't know what to do.
So we've got Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara.
Whoop, whoop. Them 49er fans are upset because the Seahawks are repping.
The Seahawks are repping in their house, which is
Sam Darnold's face is beautiful on their stadium. That's great. That's some good stuff. That's just pure irony.
So we've got a lot of good stuff here. it's like there's so many different things that it's like, okay, where do we go here? I will say that Sam Darnold being in the Super Bowl after being discarded by multiple teams is probably the best storyline there is. Out of anything else you could pull from, that's the best storyline. And it's hard not to root for him to win it all, just to be like, hey, Jets, see what happens when you actually put a good team around me or good coaching around me? Like, well, here we are.
Amen. Because you did this to yourself. And
I probably stole Caleb's thunder on that one because that's probably what he was going to mention. But what's that storyline that you're kind of excited about there, Caleb?
I don't really have a storyline. I don't see. I mean, if there is going to have to be a storyline for me, it's probably the whole idea of strength of schedule and how ridiculous I think that argument is, and seeing whether or not that gets fleshed out and proven wrong as far as people judging a team solely based on that. I hate that argument so much because to me, that implies that the team had a say in who they're playing. And they don't. So you can't hold it against them for going out and just playing who's on their schedule and winning games. Whether they're beating bad teams and losing to the good teams, there's a lot of teams throughout the NFL history who have had the ability to do the same thing with a weak schedule and didn't. So regardless of what you believe about strength of schedule, you still have to go out and play the games. And then if you are able to do so and win those games, you get to move forward. Now, yes, it was the second easiest strength of schedule in NFL history for somebody to make the playoffs or something along those lines with that fact. I forget exactly what that stat is, but I've always hated it. I've always hated that argument because you can only play who's in front of you. And then you always hear this old adage of it doesn't matter if you win by a point or 1,000 points. All that matters is that you win the game. So if that's the idea, why do the goalposts keep getting moved when it doesn't fit your eye test?
which eye tests are such bullshit things anyway.
Well,
I
think there's a lot of truth to an eye test, but if you're going to use an eye test, you have to then be able to back it up with facts showing the eye test you're using can be trusted. Like, I feel like I've got a pretty good track record with that. Now, I've gotten it wrong, and I'll come out and admit my bad, and I'll eat my crow. But we've talked about how, my predictions, my talent evaluation, whatever you want to call it, it sits a pretty good high percentage. So Pinky does this, and he's on the Sam Darnold bandwagon now. So let's just keep that in mind.
Oh, hold on. I'm
Deshaun
not.
Watson wasn't any good and then came around. Now it's before injuries.
And then he proved he wasn't any good.
That's not what happened. But I feel like you go back and look at what I've said and what I've predicted. My track record is solid. I'm not saying I'm batting 1,000, but I'm above 60% if I have.
You're at least 300.
In baseball, I'd be a Hall of Famer. So you got to be able to back up.
But not a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer.
That's a whole nother can of worms. We ain't got time for that.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, if you're going to use the eye test, be able to back up the eyes. Don't come out here with what's called lion eyes. Because if you're going to have lion eyes and it's going to be something that gets talked about when you say something, then don't use your eye test.
Half of the games the Patriots played against really bad teams, they curb stomped them. So, like, they're good. They're a really good football team. At the end of the day, they're a really good football team. Mike Vrabel is a good coach. We loved the Mike Vrabel hire from the beginning. We thought he was a great coach in just a horrible place in Tennessee. Him and the GM weren't seeing eye to eye, and again, he didn't quite have the full backing of ownership either, and he was the scapegoat for a couple bad seasons. That can happen. He got with a good owner, good structure, good GM. They're off to the races in his first year. So it doesn't hurt that he had Drake May as well, which we could argue is still the best quarterback from that draft class as well.
Freaking
There's an
Patriots
argument to
should
be made.
Suck for 20 years.
There is. There's an argument to be made.
I feel like you could make an argument for at least 4 of those quarterbacks in that draft that, hey, those guys are. You might feel good about taking any one of those guys number 1, in my opinion. So, and there's numbers to back it up with all 4 of them. So, it's a good conversation. I think Drake May is awesome. I think he's got pretty much everything you need. The guy's got a cannon. He's good. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Really, a lot this season played to the strengths of the team. Run the football and play good defense. Don't lose us the game. He did a great job at that. That was the recipe for Tom Brady his first 3 Super Bowls. We're going to play good defense. We're going to run the football. Just don't lose us the game. Don't turn the ball over. Pretty easy. It's a pretty good winning formula. So, Robert, was there anything that you saw from a storyline perspective that you're like, oh, that's kind of cool? That's fun.
I mean, I really like the Sam Darnold story, being the first quarterback from that draft class to start as a quarterback since he was with the 49ers.
Nice clarification.
I really do enjoy that storyline. As much as I hate it, the Patriots should still suck for 25 years. I think it's complete and utter bullshit that they're back, but football is football, and if you play the cards right, it works in your favor. Something the Browns will never learn. However, I just think that, and I've mentioned it several times, you can fact check me over the last several weeks, people. No one expected the Super Bowl. No one expected these teams in the Super Bowl, let alone the success that they had this year. So,
not entirely true. We had Seattle being successful this year.
Yes, we did. I'm talking the general public. Yes, you've got the facts. We know it's been great to have a somewhat accurate thing this year.
Would you look at that? 3 teams making the playoffs from the NFC West, all tied at 11-6.
Can we
Not
bring
exactly
this?
the correct
I want a
record.
copy. Can we get a copy?
I would say it's
Can
not
we
too
sign
shabby.
this? Can we sign this and get a copy? And I want to frame it. The best
I would
year's
say-
prediction.
I would say
2026
between-
best prediction.
Between that prediction and the fact that you 2 got the Broncos right, dead nuts on the record,
Ah!
that's by far our best preseason prediction for how the season goes. By far the best.
Absolutely. But it just, this is why we love football. Anything can happen.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how easy a schedule is or the team you have. Anything can happen. Injuries, random wins, blowouts, you name it. Mid-season trades.
Caleb said it last week. A lot of this is war of attrition.
Absolutely.
Who's healthy at the end of the season?
Absolutely. And genuinely, even if I wasn't a Seahawks, person right now, I'm still excited to watch the Super Bowl either way. The Eagles aren't in it. The Chiefs aren't in it. I'm all in to watch it. That's really how it is.
I don't know. We have to hate on the Eagles today, but
I'm not
okay.
hating on the Eagles. I'm just saying it's nice not having both of them or one or the other. It's new blood.
It is new blood.
I'm very excited for that.
Well, Robert, we've got some other things we want to talk about, so we definitely got to get to What is your prediction for this game?
Whoa, wait, hang on. Before
Whoa.
we go there, I wanna pause and I want to get one more thought from you two before we get predictions.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to hear what you believe are the keys to the game for each team to come out as the victor. I want to, whether you want to make it a quick breakdown or you got a little bit more thought, I would love to hear from both of you on what you believe each team needs to do in order to see them hoisting the trophy at the end of the game.
I go first. Seattle needs to come with a very strong defense and absolutely pressure from the very get-go. They need to make Drake May feel uncomfortable. They need to get sacks early. That being said, I also think on the offensive side, they need to be giving the ball to KW3. Get as many touches as you can. Run that play action. It's been working all season. Yes, you're down Charbonnet, but that doesn't mean you need to change up your scheme. Just make it work with KW3. That's my thought.
I like
With
it.
Patriots, you've been running a dicey thing all season. The run game's been heavy. Your defense has been great. Cam Newton full on went on blast and said that your defense got you here. I don't agree with that by any means. You still have to win and score points on the offensive side. So, as long as they run the ball, keep their heads, don't pull a John Harbaugh and just start passing because you think that it's a good idea. Run the ball, stick to what you know. Defense is going to be strong no matter what, as long as they can get to Sam Darnold. I don't think Sam Darnold will necessarily overcome the pressure. But we'll see. He's been defying odds all season. It's very dicey. I could go either way, but I do think that overall the Seahawks will come out because of who they are under pressure this last season when it matters. It's evident in the Rams game, was evident in the Niners game, not in just postseason, but in the regular season. When the points mattered, they made it matter. That's what I got.
Well, to add on to that, I think it's truly all about, can you keep Sam Darnold clean? Whatever that looks like. Running the football, play action, getting him on the move, keep him clean. Because if you keep him clean, he's delivered to one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's delivered to Cooper Kupp when it matters. He's delivered to A.J. Barner. He's delivered to the next tight end that they have, whoever that guy is. They've pretty much just gotten the ball to whoever they need to make those plays when it matters. When they keep him clean. Bobo.
Well-rounded.
I think
well-rounded team.
Horton was having a good rookie year until he got hurt.
And I forget who said it, but I would absolutely agree with it that they are the most well put together team right now on both sides.
They've got a really good roster right now. What I love about and on the other side of the ball, like you said, defense, just keep attacking. That's what they've done. They're an attacking defense. I wouldn't say they're great on the front line. They're not amazing on the linebackers. But when I watch Seattle play as a unit, there's no easy yards, and they come downhill and attack. Absolutely. And that's awesome. That's key. So, Caleb, what is your prediction?
Well, wait, hang on. What do you think about New England? What? I feel like that was all Seattle. What do you? Or are you just saying screw it? That's all I'm talking about. And there's my prediction.
I don't think New England's got much of a chance in this game, to my opinion.
Ooh, wow.
I feel like if the Patriots got here or the Broncos got here, somebody was taking an ass whooping, and I appreciate the Patriots stepping up and saying they'll take that ass whooping, because I feel like that's what's going to happen.
So, are you envisioning a 2013 Super Bowl then? Was that what it was?
No, I don't know if I'd go that far. Like, to get a blowout in a Super Bowl, weird stuff has to happen. Kind of like create an avalanche effect. We haven't seen a lot of that in the last decade in Super Bowls. It just doesn't happen, primarily. So most of the time, it's a pretty close game. Or you get a game where it's, 34-17, 34-21. So it's not a close game, but it's not like that, just like domination, 43-8, 55-10, those kind of things.
Yes, he's reciting Broncos scores in the Super Bowl losses, people. We
So,
can take it on the chin when we need to,
I-
all right?
I
All
mean,
right?
Woo!
if the Patriots are going to win this game, they got to pressure Sam Darnold and they have to run the freaking football. Keep it pretty simple. Those are the two things they have to do if they're going to win this game. I just don't see that happening, in my opinion. I just don't see them.
So you both got Seattle.
We both have Seattle, and in fact,
Seattle dominating.
we have Seattle, guys.
Let's
We've
go.
got Seattle.
Okay. So
Pinky and I are 12s, people.
we'll break this down here. On the Seattle side of the ball, I think the defense has to be able to limit the big plays that they give up. Pinky's right. They come downhill and they attack, which I love. But they also are notorious for giving up some big plays. And a lot of it seems to be more mental error than it does inability to stop a team. And you want to look at a perfect example of mental error. Look at that play that the defensive back, I'm John Wooten,
Yep.
lost his mind. Got the I keep wanting to call it PI, Pinky. I don't know why I keep wanting to do that.
That was taunting.
Jeez Louise. But yeah, the taunting penalty that the next play, the Rams go and get another big play and get a 30, 35-yard touchdown. Seattle has to minimize that in a big way because the Patriots can break off big plays in a hurry. On the offensive side of the ball, I think the key for Seattle winning is they need to get Darnold pushing the ball downfield. That 15 to 20-yard zone downfield from the line of scrimmage needs to be what they attack on a fairly regular basis, I believe, if they want to then be able to get the rest of their offense open. Because I see New England kind of loading the box a little bit to start and daring Sam Darnold to beat them. So they need to be able to attack that 15 to 20-yard zone downfield and put that pressure on New England's defense. For New England, offensively, I think they need to grind the run game. And when they've done that this season, it feels like they eventually break off big chunks in handfuls, specifically from that run game. Travion Henderson was barely used in that AFC Championship game. I see him having a large role in the Super Bowl. And that is their definitive home run hitter right now. And then I would say not Stephon Diggs, but Booty needs to be the guy that has a big game on the outside. He is their downfield threat right now, and he's made some plays that have opened up that field for them. So if they can grind that run game to get some chunk yardage, that's going to open up that pass game against a very aggressive defense that will allow them to move the ball in big chunks. And that's exactly what they need to do. All that being said, my stance isn't going to change now. Sam Darnold's going to go out and prove people wrong, and I do believe he's the reason they win this game. I said that's what's going to happen in the NFC Championship game, and he went toe-to-toe with Matt Stafford, and you could even argue he outplayed Matt Stafford. I don't know if I would say that, but they went toe-to-toe, and Darnold was the reason they moved on to the Super Bowl. It was not in spite of Darnold. And I believe that's what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. And I do think because of that, Seattle is going to come out on top. I see this in the 31-17 range with basically a close game until middle end of the fourth quarter, where Seattle it'll be 24-17. Seattle gets a stop, go down and score. Now all of a sudden you're looking at a 2-score game, and that is kind of what breaks it open there late. Sorry, Jamar. Sorry, man. Tried to hype you guys up as much as I could.
Hey,
socials
like I
right
said,
now are blowing up. What I've been writing lately, everybody thinks I'm some kind of Patriots lover and refuse to do any research to find out I'm driving the Sam Darnold bandwagon. So
hey, I appreciate all Patriots fans, and I appreciate all the Patriots taking that ass whooping for us. Appreciate you guys.
Respect.
So, all right. We need to do some quick
man, we
hitters.
got you.
I'm excited. It's going to be a great Super Bowl Sunday. We got some quick hitters we got to get through. All right, guys. James Harden got moved. NBA trade deadline coming up soon. This happened. Thoughts, Caleb?
Count me out, homie.
History is bound to repeat itself if you do not learn from it.
I didn't see the details on the trade, like what they gave up for him. But I just
Straight
don't see
up,
how this.
Garland for Harden.
I don't hate that.
Hey, whoa. Jamar, we have not skipped any nonsense. We're not there
he's
yet.
right. We're fully discussing nonsense right now. He's onto something here.
Hey, we've got a couple topics to hit before we hit nonsense. That's why I'm trying to move the show along.
So
I'll
I'll say this, Pinky. Harden is a great player. His great player ability does not translate to winning basketball. And I know that almost sounds a little counterproductive because his teams win games in the regular season. But when it truly matters and you need him to be the one to show up, his play style does not equate to a team that you're scared to face.
Playoff Harden is a whole different thing.
I don't hate the move for Cleveland because Garland hasn't really been what they were hoping he was or would become. I just don't see this moving the needle a whole lot. The one that did move the needle for me, Pinky, is the Boston trade. Vucevic for Anthony Simmons, basically, that's a steal for Boston. And they filled a major hole. And that's a move that the rest of the East should be paying attention to and be worried about.
Who gave up 3 picks for Jaren Jackson? I feel like that was an overpay.
Utah, and it's a solid trade for them. They've got picks to move, and nobody's signing in Utah. So the only way Utah wins is through homegrown talent and making a trade for the right guy. Jared Jackson's a stud. That dude can ball. They got him cheaper than what they got back for Gobert. And I think he's a better player than Gobert. You're not taking him off the court at the end of the game. I think you put him with Markkanen and their young guys and George, and you could see a pretty interesting, fun team to watch come next season. So I like that move for Utah. Memphis has no clue what they're doing. Every move they've made over the last decade says, we're not trying to win long term. We're not trying to build a contender. We're trying to do something that just confuses everybody at all times. I have no idea what between player and personnel decisions to coaching decisions, they're screwed. So Memphis, every once and again, you get a team that's going to make a run. Zebo to all of a sudden it looked like Ja and the boys were going to be able to take Golden State out, and there's hope. And then they go Florida Marlins and tear it all down the next year. It's wild. I feel bad for Memphis fans.
Are there any Memphis fans? I don't know.
Probably not many after this.
We should clip it, put it out there, and we should find out how many we got.
All right. So we've got a couple more days left of NBA trade deadlines next week. Is that right?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. So maybe there'll be a couple more moves before Thursday.
There's going to be, based on what we just saw, what I thought was going to be a dead trade deadline until Giannis' decision was made, has accelerated quickly. And I think the next couple of days, we're going to see still some pretty decent moves. And I'm excited to see who does what.
I'm still not sure Giannis gets moved this season. It might be during the summer when he's healthy and everything's good to go.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This has got to be quick, fellas. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about, but I know you guys are excited.
Yeah!
It's happening.
Let's go!
I don't know why, but
Friday,
because sports, Pinky, because sports. Get with it or get off it. I don't care. It's sports. Every type of sport. I don't care. It's exciting. It's the entire world competing on the same stage. It's awesome.
Let's start with arguably the biggest news of the Olympics right now. Lindsey Vonn ruptured her ACL.
Fucking badass.
Week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
A week ago, shattered the ACL, baby.
She has gone through every test possible and has decided that she is still going to compete in the downhill. Yo,
let's go.
I don't think people understand how absurd that is.
Woo!
You definitely need your knees to be able to ski.
Fuck yeah.
And she's not just skiing. She's not just like swish, swish. She's doing 85 miles an hour straight downhill. Like, it's absurd to think that she's going to go out there and try to compete. So I am stoked to see what she does.
To see her die. Sure. Okay.
No.
Dude,
we're talking about a goat.
Yeah, and
a goat
who is always on the edge. You go back and look at her career, some of the crashes she's had over the years are some of the most vicious crashes I've ever seen in the downhill.
Absolutely.
She's wild. She rides the edge. I love it.
And, she dated Tiger Woods for a while, so that doesn't, that's always nice.
I want to know what you guys are most looking forward to. What are your top events that you're really going to be tuning in for?
Men's speed skating, half pipe, both men and women snowboarding. I always love the luge. I love seeing the Jamaican bobsled team's going to be there again.
Hold up.
Cool runnings.
Luge or bobsled? Luge, bobsled.
I love the luge.
The whole
just the whole encompassing thing. I love the luge because it's just so incredible to watch.
Because luge is one man.
Oh, absolutely.
Luge is only one.
No, I know.
I'm clarifying for the audience.
Absolutely.
Audience.
No, I appreciate you
luge
clarifying.
One man,
yes.
Bobsled two.
I love the luge.
Man.
Luge, and then the Jamaican bobsled team, cool runnings. Like, come on, I grew up with that. Like, the Jamaicans are there. I'm watching. Like, John Candy, man, gotta rep. But no, seriously, I love the winter sports. I think it's one of the most. I mean, you can say the same thing for summer, but it's a very dynamic season. There are so many different sports that it's incredible to see. Not just, again, the luge
I think
is
the
a
winter
one-man.
sports are far more niche than the summer sports, which makes it even more interesting to me.
Absolutely. 100%.
Here's my top events that I'm going to watch it all. Just like Robert and I are stoked. So we will be checking all of it out.
At work, I'll be watching events.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be constantly on all day, every day for 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
I'm with Robert in all forms of the bobsled events. Specifically for me is skeleton. Because you are head first, Supermaning down the hill. Absurd. Curling. I am huge curling guy. Some people find it boring as hell. I find it as one of the most intriguing things to watch. I love curling. Downhill skiing, giant slalom, specifically Super G. Love that immensely. And then speed skating. All forms, but specifically short track. If you don't know about short track, come watch. because it's basically demolition derby timed on ice and skates. Those dudes they're NASCAR. They're bumping, they're racing. It is absurd. The amount of anxiety and hype they can create in a very short, quick time period. So speed skating, specifically short track,
crashed.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Dude, seriously,
That was one of my favorite events watching. Well, I was 6. I think I was 6 when that happened because it was 2002, wasn't it?
You watched like a third place guy come through and take out first and second, and then fourth place comes around and wins the race. Like absurd.
I couldn't believe it. It was so good.
So actually, those are mine. The giant Super G, giant slalom and Super G, any form of bobsled, but specifically skeleton, curling, and then short track speed skating specifically. Those are the top ones I'm looking for, and I'm most excited to see. But I'm excited about everything. We got people cross country skiing and shooting rifles, guys. That's awesome. A sport they get to do.
I wish they still did this. I wish.
I love it. I wish. Pinky, is there? I know you're not a big fan of the Olympics, but is there something that you do want to see that you are actually interested in, or you just
snowboard half pipe?
Hold on, female bobsledding.
I don't. Okay.
Just move on. We're moving on.
And then I do think I don't like it because the Avs players are in it, but ice hockey in the Olympics, those guys freaking care. Like, it's not like the Pro Bowl or, All-Star games or any of that. It is like they are going to fight and, like, we want to win for our country. They take a lot of pride in
You are right about
hockey.
Olympic hockey is actually Olympic hockey is probably the same level as playoff hockey in intensity.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I was gonna this might be a good transition even. But every Winter Olympics, I watch Miracle. No question. Because that's just such...
I have never seen that movie.
That's very disappointing to hear.
How wild is that? I've never seen that movie.
Isn't there 2 of those?
I'm Caleb. I'm disappointed in you.
Well, I know the story. I've known the story. I never felt a reason to then go watch a portrayal of the story. I've watched biography or
Kurt
documentaries. I've heard the actual players give the interviews. The movie never interested me for some reason.
I watched a movie. I watched a movie for you. You get to watch a movie for me now. I watched A Scanner Darkly. You get to watch Miracle.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know if that's a fair trade.
That is an absolute fair trade. What?
All right, offline.
It's not.
Anyway.
I know all the story though. It's not like
I pick. You got to pick a movie for me. I'm giving a movie to you. That's the crux of the situation.
Okay.
Hey, I'll do better, but there's more than one. There's more than one to come, but you have to watch it.
All right.
And then Cool Runnings, because there's just something about watching just a team against the odds. Watching
one to get ready. Who to go?
Yo.
Well, there's also Cutting Edge as well.
That is not an Olympic movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's just figure skating.
Is that the Will Ferrell ice skating movie?
No, that's Blades of Glory. Cool Runnings. Okay. It's Demi, isn't it? It's not Demi Moore, is it?
No, it's not Demi. Cutting Edge.
What's Cutting Edge?
It's a figure skating movie.
So it's a hockey player who. Oh, it's Moira Kelly. A hockey player gets severely injured.
Oh yeah, he becomes a figure skater. Yeah, I know.
But he becomes a figure skater. Yeah, it's one of my mother's favorite movies, and I've seen it so many times. I hate it.
I saw it so many times. In the 80s or 90s.
I hate it. So
I'm in on it. All right, we got to move on.
All right.
So on movies, I think Caleb will agree with me. Robert, you need to check this one out. I believe, right? Caleb, you're in? Yes, Caleb's in. I was shocked. I threw this on a whim because I try on the weekends. I try to watch a movie with the wife because that's when she's kind of like, we've already watched all her shows, so the watching a movie is okay, so I can catch up on movies. And I remember seeing this came out. I remember seeing it had pretty good reviews, and I was like, let's check it out. I was shocked that this was really entertaining, a good action flick. And then I thought they did a great job in this movie of like playing up childhood trauma. You know, these guys are half brothers, and there's some
This is on
trauma.
Prime, right?
It's on Prime.
Okay.
And there's some trauma between the both of them that have made them who they are. And then seeing them try to overcome that trauma while the story is unfolding, I thought was done really well. So
I agree, Pinky. I agree, sir. The way they did the trauma was really interesting too, because it was a slow burn for you to finally figure out what it truly was. You kind of had these bits and pieces where you could kind of guess and fill it in, but when they finally laid it all out, you're like, oh damn, okay, yeah, this is all mathing. It's all mathing really well. I will say the other thing, and maybe it's just me, this is Jason Momoa's best acting job. For me, his absolute best acting job, because I was literally watching this movie and I didn't feel it was Jason Momoa playing a character. I actually believed he was the character. I thought the way he portrayed it was just really well done. And that's not a knock on Batista. I thought he was well too. I was just surprised that it wasn't just like a goofy Jason Momoa playing some character to kind of do the shtick, if you will.
There was definitely depth to him.
Almost he played the whole movie almost as if it was a drama, or a maybe not drama, but legit not comedy in any way. And even though he had some comedic moments, they never came off as like slapstick or just there for the entertainment value. They felt genuine to the story. I think that's one of the biggest compliments you could give an actor.
I find it interesting that you both, not only have both watched this somehow and I haven't gotten to it, so that's amazing. Put that on the calendar. But secondly, if you notice, Prime is developing some bit of a formula with these. Because just last year, we also had the Heads of State with Idris Elba and John Cena. Now, again, I haven't seen this, so I can't really speak on it fully. But at a whole, it's a buddy cop to a situation. And one of the few things that I see just as a whole in the film industry as in general is not just comedies, buddy cop movies and things. Not only are they a dying form, but you're only getting them in certain elements. And these are some of the most top billed actors right now. You could do anything with this. I mean, again, you've had years past Men in Black, Bad Boys, just to name those two specifically. There's potential. You're on the right track. All of these.
This tracks within that genre well.
No, absolutely. And what I'm getting at is with these is that you can do so much more.
I'll take that a step further. What's the I'm drawing a blank on the name of the movie. The Matt Damon and Ben Affleck flick on Netflix.
The Rip.
The Rip. Cop movie.
The Rip.
The Rip. I think these are the same movie, two different sides of the coin.
Absolutely.
One's a little more serious. Well, one's a lot more serious with some kind of comedy within it, while the other one leans more into the comedy with a little bit serious. And that's not an accurate necessarily portrayal of either movie, but I feel like it's the same movie, two sides of the coin kind of.
I mean, if I saw The Wrecking Crew in theaters, I would have been like, wow, this is pretty good. And I would have been okay with paying that money to see it. The Rip, it's cool, but there was something missing about The Rip. Like, I felt like they tried to remake The Town and it just didn't quite play. I watched it.
Oh,
I
didn't feel that
enjoyed
way
it,
at
but
all.
yeah, I didn't. If I would have watched the Rip in a movie theater, I would have been pretty disappointed because I didn't feel like it reached that level of storytelling, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm not a big movie theater fan, so it's hard for me to
I'm
be the
big.
voice here, but
I mean,
I know
I'm
you
big
are.
on the
I would
movies.
just say neither one of these are worthy of going to a theater for me. They're
No,
good
no.
movies. They're perfect to just chill at home and
I
watch
think they're
and be
perfect on
entertained.
the medium that they're on. For me, if I'd have saw Wrecking Crew in a theater, I would have been perfectly okay. Like, hey, this is good. This is fun. I had a good time. I would
That's
not
fair.
have had the same with the Rip. If I had paid money to see the Rip, I would have been a little disappointed overall. And we
See,
lost Robert.
funny enough, I'm on the opposite side of that. I thought the Rip was a better story because you didn't quite know where it was going. Where the Wrecking Crew, I feel like you knew exactly how it was going to end.
Oh,
It was just how are they going to get there?
We knew exactly where the Rip was going as soon as they said that, like, Matt Damon started giving out different numbers to everybody. So as soon as he gave out different numbers,
I
you're like,
don't think
okay, we kind of know where this is going.
I don't think you did.
He was playing people. That's what I took away
Yeah,
from
but you
that
didn't.
moment.
You didn't realize there was a very. I thought they did it well to where you could very well believe that they were going to take the heist. It wasn't him testing his crew to see who the mole was. I think they played that really well. I think everybody, if you were paying attention, I think you caught on to the fact that he was given different numbers. I don't think they let it on, though, that he was doing it to catch someone. They played it well. Anyways, I get what you're saying.
So there's that. Now we are almost. We're so close. We are almost done with Fallout Boys, and
I'm watching it after this episode.
yeah, I've got some other pressing needs going on, but I will watch it probably very quickly because I'm excited to see where it goes. And I know I was behind at some points during this season. I'm gonna say one of the things I really enjoyed about the last 2 episodes is them having to kind of show Lucy, like, yeah, your father's evil, but maybe he's not that evil because what he's doing is trying to make a better society, whether it's wrong or not. By taking away people's free will, it is having them not kill each other.
Oh, the
Is that
push and
wrong?
pull she's going through in her own mind right now is being really well portrayed. The struggle of her morals right now are a very well written way to go about it, for sure. That's a great call, Pinky.
Yeah, that just kind of came out to me, and then seeing the reveal of the one-eyed chick, I don't know what her name is, and her being kind of an imposter.
Kind of. She's Canadian.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ugh.
Super Canadians.
Ugh, gross. Canadian.
I don't want your maple syrup. Get out of here.
I don't need Canadian bacon. I got ham.
Epic.
Yeah, that's
So
wild.
epic.
That whole storyline and how that's gonna unfold.
And I just want to point out, you had the Cowardly Lion with Thaddeus, the Tin Man with Maximus,
Right.
and then the Scarecrow with the Ghoul.
Right.
It all worked out perfectly. They're going to get Dorothy from the wizard.
I am
Good call on that.
I really liked seeing Maximus in an old
NCR,
armor.
baby.
Attack some death claws. That was cool.
Dope.
That was very cool.
So
I am excited to see the last episode, see where we go.
Is there only
have
one
not
more
been
left?
disappointed.
Yeah, this is it tonight. Tonight's the last one. But you want to know the best part?
That makes 8, right? I thought there was 10.
Yep. No, 8. You want to know what the best part is, though? In 3 months, production starts on season 3.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Indeed,
Nice.
indeed. 2027 season 3 coming.
I love that because, again, I think I'm a big fan of a lot of the streaming services having these shows. Netflix, Prime, Peacock, Paramount Plus, like they've all got these great, amazing shows, which I'm a big fan of being able to stream all of them, like just get through all of it. But then, like some of these shows, like Stranger Things,
You wait
takes
5 years.
forever to get to the next season, and to me that loses some of the excitement.
Which, Pinky, you know what happens in 2 weeks? Paradise season 2.
Oh, that's fun. I did like Paradise. Paradise was a fun watch.
You heard it here first, people. Pinky put me on that show, and it has become an obsession.
I can't even remember who put me on that. I think somebody in my other chat put me on that.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about that.
No. Media. I was gonna say going off of Pinky's point and what I brought up. Media starting to get to a point again where, in certain areas, we don't have to wait as long, which has been something we've talked about multiple times. It's refreshing. You can get excited for something. You don't necessarily have to go back for a rewatch. It's like, wait, it's been 5 years. I don't remember what happened. You're able to jump back in and you're ready to go.
Some of the shows have like a 2-year cadence.
House of the Dragon.
2 years, I've got to go back and watch the previous seasons.
Yeah,
to remember what
should be releasing once a year at the same time every year, regardless of how many episodes you're gonna produce.
Which I know we're Caleb and I are gonna speak about next is the Game of Thrones show.
Yeah, but before we do that, hang on. I'm drawing a blank on the word, and it's driving me nuts right now. And I can't even Google to get the word because I can't think of what I'm trying to think of. And I hate when this happens. What do you call the good guy who's a bad guy, or a bad guy that's really a good guy? Like
anti-hero?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, but that doesn't quite fit what I'm trying. There's another word, and I'm dang it. Anyways, that's what I see the ghoul as. And his arc for me is absurdly fascinating.
So we have
because you get him as the true blood American hero that everybody wants on a poster and a white picket fence, to watching how he devolved into doing things that were against his true nature, but knew it had to be done for the better good.
So, chaotic good.
And then, but that's all flashbacks that we're getting to learn. And when you first meet him, you just think of him as a downright villain who's out to just destroy anything and anyone, right? And now in the actual timeline of where the story's being told and not flashing back, you're watching him go from that into a good guy, almost reverting back all the way to who he truly is. And watching that arc and the evolution is just absurdly fascinating to me. And the way it's being written is so well done that it's constantly got you captivated into what his next move is going to be. And is it going to be more of a turn towards the better, or is it going to be a step back towards the bad? And I'm loving how that's unfolding.
In D&D, we call that chaotic good. He'll do evil to be good. He's still innately good, but he'll do evil things to be good.
So that's one of my favorite parts. Right? It's just seeing that arc.
Fallout.
And that's real shit, right? Like that's what people will really do when you're put in extreme circumstances, and seeing how, depending on what the situation is, your moral compass might bend or it might break altogether.
And that ending with Lucy in the vault in the basement, I was like, what?
Damn.
I was not ready for that. I don't know what I was ready for, but it was not that.
Right? Yeah.
Whew. All right.
Talking about endings. What was Knights of the Seven Kingdom?
Yeah,
are you
baby!
kidding me?
Yeah!
I can't do the spoiler because there might actually be people who haven't had a chance to see it yet. It is pretty fresh.
So
I'm not going to spoil it, but what?
Caleb, I want you to put into context.
Coming, right? 'Cause you read the book?
Yes. Yes, Caleb, I want you to
So
put into
thank you,
context.
and continue to be the angel on my
Caleb.
shoulder telling me when to not go and read some stuff if I haven't seen it yet, because if I had, I would have ruined the whole episode for myself.
So Caleb, I want you to put this into real context real fast. This is
Okay.
major. You have Daenerys Khaleesi, right? Egg. That's her great grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're right here. It's right here.
Dude, when that fortune teller hit, my mind went, oh, hell no. Oh, are you? Wait a second.
So that has.
And then the end of the episode hit, and I was like, oh my, you gotta, what the?
And unless you take yourself through this series again and rewatch the Game of Thrones, you know exactly when and where. You know where it happens. What exactly she's talking about.
But
and I don't want to...
It raises so many questions, Robert. It raises so many questions because what happens to get there? And again, I'm trying to say this without any spoiling. But what happens between now and that to get there? And then I'll throw this out there as well for people to just be thinking about when they watch it. These are kind of some clip notes, if you will, without spoiling anything. Not only do you start wondering what happened to get there, but then my very second thought or instantaneous thought with that, Robert, was, is it really that? Or did the quote-unquote winners of the war write the history? Meaning, what was really portrayed and told was not really what happened, but said such to show the victors in a positive light.
So I'm glad you probably have
these answers, and I appreciate you not telling me, but would you say those are legitimate thoughts to immediately have in that scenario?
I'm glad you bring this up, because this goes back to what we were just speaking about, and delays and how long it takes to get a new season and whatever. It's not uncommon, especially with gigantic nerd fandoms. Star Trek is the example here. You can have multiple shows running at one time, telling different stories. However, you also need to preserve some sort of that. Star Trek isn't written. It's not a literature following. So you didn't have to worry about some of these things. Game of Thrones is written. House of the Dragon is written. Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, also known as Dunk and Egg, has been written. So in this episode, you actually get a glimpse of a Hightower family member who, when last we saw, is in power. So, branching off of that, that's what makes this show enjoyable, but also loathable, because you're getting spoilers for a show that's not complete. Now, that also falls on the viewer if you're not a literary reader, and not everybody is, and that's fine. But this is written. These things have been said already. And a lot of these things, and I very boldly and transparently pointed out to Caleb, unless you're prepared for any type of spoiler, story reveal, character point, do not read anything concerning this show. Because it has not only been brought up in the Game of Thrones show, start to finish, what happens to Dunk and Egg for that matter. It's also been in literary works. You can go to the Game of Thrones Wikipedia right now and read the entire story and get it at all. For the older brother who Egg just confronted, you already know.
Careful. You
So
slipped there a little bit.
it's a lot of, you have to take the bad with the good, and how much you're willing to enter this world. If you're not going to read the works, don't read anything about it, because you will have it ruined. And this show is pointing out very different things as a Game of Thrones series, because in all of these episodes, there's been one main central theme. We're in the same place. We haven't gone to King's Landing. We haven't gone to Winterfell. We're in a tournament. We're seeing a day-to-day development.
Very true. Very different perspective, very different timeline than anything that's been worked with in this universe so far.
And I know, Pinky, you said when you finish Fallout, you're going to get into this. And honestly, I think you may find yourself kicking yourself in the ass over it, because these episodes are quick. They're not hour-long episodes. You could get through these pretty quickly. And it's, I think, one of the most exciting things, not just for this series, but as just a overarching IP, just like Skeleton Crew was for Star Wars. It's a real good, fresh breath of air. You're not having to track all of these 80 million different characters. You're focusing on 2. And then you have the supporting cast. And I think this couldn't have come at a better time for Game of Thrones, because of the delay between the House of the Dragon seasons, and for whenever George R.R. Martin decides to finish The Winds of Winter, if ever before he dies. So.
All right. Finishing up. Final thoughts, Robert.
There's so many nerd things happening this month, March and April. I don't even know where my nerdness is gonna fit in for it all. Like, I'm gonna have to have a whole hour of my own to talk about this crap.
We've talked about
Invincible.
that.
We have The Boys. We've
Nerds
got the
and
Mall
nonsense.
Show. We've got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie getting ready to top off. Like, there are so many things happening in the next coming months that it's just insane. Absolutely bonkers. And I'm here for it. Caleb, I really hope that you and I hold true and we get through this Maul series week by week together, because it's going to be intense.
The what series?
The Maul series.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. The Maul Shadow Lord.
I'm going to say this again, and I hope you hear me very clearly this time. I am going to be watching that. Robert, if there are 2 things in the nerddom world that I am able to discuss with knowledge on, what are those 2 things?
Star Wars. I mean, plain and simple. And then sports.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings would be the other.
Okay, that's fair. Which we have season 3 coming out pretty quickly.
So those 2 things, if they're coming out, I am going to be all over, because I have the ability to discuss in detail of those things, because they are arguably the only 2 nerd things that I truly, I will say, had time to dive into growing up, because of all the other things I was involved in. But yeah, that you don't have to worry about Maul. Don't worry about it, my guy. We're on it. We're good.
Excellent.
Pinky, final thoughts.
All right. So I am excited for Super Bowl Sunday. I love spending time with friends and family. It's going to be a great time. It is actually my father's birthday on Super Bowl Sunday this weekend. So it's going to be great to spend time with him. And I just got to give a shout out to my girl, Liv Morgan, Royal Rumble winner. I'm excited to see her at WrestleMania. It's going to be awesome. Let's go.
Look at this guy pumping himself up, Robert, and leaving us in the dust. He's He's bringing PowerPoints and shit to his final thoughts, and he's just letting us just talk. Like, what is this?
I mean,
how unfair is that?
You're welcome to send me graphics or create your own, whatever.
Here's my PSA for the evening. While February is a great sports month, there are 2 events that are absolute trash. And the fact that these sports allow these events to still continue in the way they are is just shameful. And that is the NFL Pro Bowl and the NBA All-Star Weekend. And I will end on this. Draymond Green, you hypocrite, you should be ashamed of yourself. Talking out loud about how you don't want to see G Leaguers in the All-Star game or the All-Star Weekend events. What? How do you get off saying that? You and your generation are the direct result of why we are where we are, and people are inviting G Leaguers. You feel that strongly, go talk to your quote-unquote king and ask him why he doesn't take it seriously. Ask him why he never was in the dunk contest. Go ask your boy Steph, who I am a big fan of, why he hasn't taken the game seriously. Like, let's be honest with the situation. Draymond Green, you hypocrite. On that note, family, loved one, friends, inner circle, take advantage of those moments and opportunities to spend time with them. Do not let them go by. Cherish them. We do. We live by that. You don't see us one week. There's only 2 of us here. Maybe there's only 1 of us here. There's a damn good reason for that. Because we do have priorities that we keep straight. We love doing this, but it's not at the top of the list. Cherish those moments. Until next week, we appreciate everybody. Please, please, please hit all those buttons. Like, follow, share. We cannot thank you enough for the support. It means a lot to us when that gets pushed out. Next week, baby. Peace.
Pinky in the building, reppin' orange and blue. Broncos country, yeah, you know how we do. Hot take so wild, you remember the name. From college ball to the pros, Caleb spitting game. Robert here, the pop culture plug. From comics to racing, pour the drink in the mug. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, yeah, bold talk. Good laughs and a glass in the air. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, right? Kick back, tune in, take a wild side stride.